The Ukraine week here in the European Parliament in Brussels is over. But the question is then, what has actually been agreed? We know that there will not be a next Ukraine week in the following years. And it's also unclear what role Pat Cox, who wrote a long report about the reforms of the Verkhovna Rada, will play in the future. There were lots of talks about, cooperation between the European Union and Ukraine, a bit between the Verkhovna Rada and between the European Parliament. But concretely, there's actually very few details. One thing that, however, was agreed today was a cooperation agreement between the Secretariat of the Verkhovna Rada and the Secretariat of the European Parliament. Now, this might not sound very sexy, but it might actually have a real bearing for the way the Verkhovna Rada will function in the future. The European Parliament Secretariat has been around for almost 50 years, and it's the first time this sort of agreement have ever been struck between the European Parliament and any other parliament in the world. There's a lot of know-how and a huge administration in the European Parliament, and what they will do now is to go over to Kiev on a regular basis and help out with different things. One of the things they will help out with is, for example, to increase the IT security in the Verkhovna Rada, which is badly needed. When I speak to officials, both here in the European Parliament, but also in the European Commission, which hosted a lunch yesterday between Johannes Hahn, the Enlargement Commissioner, and all the leaders of the fractions of the Verkhovna Rada, it was clear that they said that there seemed to be a sort of unity between the different fraction leaders of the Verkhovna Rada that they hadn't seen before. And there were talks about a sort of Brussels consensus. The big question now, however, is if this Brussels consensus can be translated into a Kiev consensus when they all return to Ukraine today. Will there be a new push and a push together to work for Ukraine to go closer and closer to European Union? Or will it be, as we've seen so many times before, fractious fights and fights within groups about how Ukraine should be run? This is Richard Joswiak for Ukraine Today in Brussels.